Yeah, I know. Welcome in, everyone. We're all getting used to some new webinar technologies. But I think we'll probably give it a minute. Give it a minute for everyone to filter in. Excellent. Feel free to say hi in the chat. It's just over here. I'll say hi first. Especially if you're joining us from hello. Especially if you're joining us from worldwide, let us know where you are. Always good to know if we've got an exciting and global audience. Fantastic. Well, I feel good about getting started. We're at 11:01. We've got people in from South Africa. Fantastic. 11:01 and half an hour to get through quite a lot of subject matter. So let's just kick on, and anyone that's late can catch the first few minutes on recording. So first off, just want to say massive welcome to everyone. Thanks so much for taking half an hour out of your day to join us on this webinar, going through what RPO is, what the benefits are, and some inside tips from those in the relevant roles. Thank you very much to Helen and Franco for joining us as our expert panelists today. So Helen is the global head of HR at Instant Group, and Franco is a senior talent partner also at Instant Group, but via Instant Impact. So Instant Group are one of our RPO clients, and I know it's very confusing that our names are so similar, but there's nothing we can do about that.
Happy coincidence.
Absolute coincidence, it has to be said. Other thing to say on here, we're going to be running a poll now. We've just launched a poll, just going through what people's main recruitment challenges are. It would be really helpful to know this, just help guide our questions and subjects that we dwell on later. So if you could answer that, that'd be fantastic. Just going through what the plan is today. Bit of housekeeping. We are on the right of your screen, I believe, is the chat. If you've got any questions, please do pop them on there. As I said right at the beginning, we're getting used to de&i, which is this brand new webinar tool. So if we miss it, I'm sorry, just ask it again and we'll get through to it. I just mentioned the poll. I'm going to pause really quickly for Helen and Franco to introduce themselves in a little bit more detail than I was just then. Helen, you happy to start?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. And thank you, Felix and Co, for asking me to join today. So as you mentioned, I am the head of HR for the Instant Group. We're a business that very much focus on finding flexible workspace solutions for our clients all over the globe. Very much a client-centric business, but also a people-centric one. And our partnership with Instant Impact began just over a year ago. It's been a huge success to date. So I guess that's why I'm
Fantastic.
here.
And Franco?
Yeah, so joined Instant Impact just over a year ago, and then joined Instant Group with Helen. Not confusing at all. Joined as a senior talent partner, and it's been a good successful year so far. Lots of hiring, lots of team growth, and very much looking forward to continuing.
Fantastic. Well, great. Well, we're going to aim to answer 3 key questions today, as I said at the beginning. What's RPO? Then what are the key benefits? And then also, if what's the sort of advice that we'd give to anyone setting up from scratch, or to anyone looking to get the most out of an existing RPO partner? And I'm going to take just a really quick overview of what RPO is, and how that's sort of changing over time. I'll try my best not to take too long, although as you can tell, sometimes I ramble on a little bit. I hope I'm not doing that now. But I won't take too long, because I imagine most people here know the basics. But in a nutshell, RPO stands for Recruitment Process Outsourcing, as sexy an acronym as that is. Really what it is, it's when a company decides to bring in a specialist business to run some of or all of its recruitment. It's a bit of a larger industry than most people realize. It was valued at $4.6 billion back in 2019, and that's been growing by 15% roughly year on year each year. I haven't done the maths, but maybe we'll circulate what it's currently valued at. And just around 15% of large businesses in the UK outsource some of or all of their recruitment. So what does it refer to? Generally, it refers to permanent recruitment. But again, this is evolving. More and more businesses, and including us at Instant Impact, more and more businesses are focusing on what's called total talent solutions. So that's supporting perm hires, temp hires, and contractors. So as you can imagine, given the scale of the industry and how it varies business to business, it means that the actual delivery of it can take many forms. So some companies outsource everything. Some focus on specific locations or skill sets or seniorities that they might find difficult to deliver with their existing setup. And sometimes companies even break down different parts of the recruitment process. So I know of companies that will outsource their screening or their headhunting and sourcing to a different business, and then have a sort of handshake over to an existing internal team. But generally, something that unites RPO and sort of recruitment outsourcing solutions is that the hiring itself is delivered by an external but embedded and dedicated team of recruiters. Again, a number of different ways of approaching this. So we've seen some in clients' offices. So I believe Franco is working from Instant Group's offices today.
I am.
Sometimes they're completely remote, sometimes offshore, and again, sometimes RPOs will bring in their own technology. Sometimes they'll work on a company's existing recruitment technology as well. So I hope what I'm looking to get across here is, whilst the direction's quite similar across RPO, the actual realities of it vary quite a lot, as do the commercials. So over the last, RPO really started about 30 years ago and adopted the commercial model mostly from the world of recruitment agencies, so paid per placement, often with a bit of a management fee. In addition to that, at Instant Impact, we take a bit of a different route. We do a fixed monthly fee depending on the team and the technology and the subject matter expertise that we've got deployed, so a bit more of a professional services model. But believe me when I say I've seen everything else that you can possibly imagine, share of cost saving, I've seen pay per candidate interviewed, like a really, really big range of different commercial models there. And so I think, as I say, the model that we have at Instant Impact, because we are towards the dedicated teams, and we also specialize in working with medium-sized, fast growth, scale-up companies, we've gone for that fixed fee model. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Really, so that we can get to the meat of today's conversation and the interesting speakers. And I'm going to ask Helen whether you could take the next big question, which is from your perspective, what would you say the key benefits of RPO?
Sure. I'll try and make it as interesting as I can. But this is actually quite an easy topic for me to talk about. So I'm glad it's this topic you asked me to join and talk about versus something else that I would leave to you guys as the experts. Because obviously, I mentioned we've now been we're over a year into our partnership with Instant Impact, and we've seen some real value come through. So I think in terms of one of the key benefits from our perspective, it starts with what I would definitely call a world-class in-house recruitment team that's very much actually aligned with our culture and values. So from day one, which started with just Franco and is now at a team of 5 talent partners, Instant Impact have helped us to find the most talented team members to obviously focus on our talent acquisition, which is one of our key priorities as a growing business. And I think with that, Instant Impact have a really big focus on the career development, learning and development, diversity of all the employees and team members that they bring on. So our team of 5 are very much supported with all of this by Instant Impact, alongside, of course, the support they receive from us as an employee, and of the Instant Group. They very much just part of our team. We do very best. I mean, don't treat them any differently. To make sure that they all feel part of the team and our business, and have access to everything and everyone they need to obviously do their jobs and set them up for success. And as I said, Instant Impact overlay their specialist talent acquisition, guidance, expertise, insight. Give them all the tools and processes that the team in our business needs, so that we can find that brilliant talent. As I said, the team are completely embedded in our HR team. That's how it feels. The employment relationship doesn't really matter, because we just work together as one team, and hopefully, Franco, you would it does feel that way genuinely for you and the team.
It does.
Franco,
it does.
do you
Yeah,
find
definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to get your insight on how you find that helping your delivery.
Yeah, I mean, from from day one, Helen made it very easy to embed. It was just me, and then the subsequent team that's grown. It's it certainly made the job easier. So better delivery through better relationships across the business. Really feeling like I have a voice in the business, and as such, I'm able to deliver and actually really understand it and act as a trusted partner, rather than just a recruitment resource, I suppose. So yeah, it certainly feels that way, Helen. Thank you, and it certainly helps with delivery.
Great. And I think you and the team all exceptional, so it plays into that kind of key benefit to me, that we've got people that are specialists in recruitment finding the best recruiters for us, and each and every one of the team are brilliant and bring something different, but we can also delve into wider support from the broader Instant Impact team on any specialist kind of areas if we need to. So that's a big plus as well. And then I guess another key benefit from my perspective is that our costs are really controlled, and with that, our reliance on agencies and agency spend is significantly reduced. So we have a number of SLAs in place as part of the RPO and partnership, one of which is an 80% direct hire rate, which we smashed last year, but it really, really helps to control our costs. And beyond that, moving away from reliance on agencies means that we benefit from having that one in-house team that really understand our business, our pain points, genuinely care about the people that we're being placed into it, and growing talent pools for the future, versus an agency who may or may not, but have more of a focus on placement versus retention, which is obviously really key to any business at the moment, with the crazy talent market that's out there at the moment. And I think, Franco, you can probably speak to this, but the team really take pleasure in seeing their hires growing within our business, so they get to see the end to end and the results, and the value that brings for them personally, which is nice. And then I guess, but having said all of that, there will always be occasions where we need support from a recruitment agency. But again, in this scenario, this is completely managed by Instant Impact, the process, the relationship, negotiating the best terms, and taking all that pressure off us having to do that, and making sure that the PSL that we have in place is the right one for us and our business.
Fantastic. That's really. Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the mentioned some of the strategic, there's some improvements and the subject matter experts that you've tapped into. It'd be really interesting to hear some of the improvements that I guess as a partnership we've made over the first year of talent partnership together.
Yeah, I mean, there's been lots, and actually the kind of the third key benefit I was going to come on to was the benefits beyond hiring, and this is where kind of all these improvement projects come in. So the team don't just find us top quality talent, that's nailed, that's tick box. But the value that we get from this partnership is that we very much work together towards our business and HR team priorities. So an example of that is, we've got a big focus on de&i, which probably I share with many other businesses. We've got a big focus on enhancing our employer brand. So where we want, businesses to automatically think of us. This is something we're working on. And when they're looking for flex workspace, we also want top talent to automatically think of us as an employer of choice. So we've got a big project focusing on our employer brand, and Franco's taking the lead in enhancing our careers pages and creating a bit more of an insight into actually life at Instant. We've got a big focus on employee engagement and retention. And again, Franco and the team have worked on creating something called My Instant Journey, which really just shares some of the good news stories that we have within our business of people and their journeys, to highlight, if people aren't aware, all the different routes that people can take and the development that's available to people, so that we can try and retain as much of the brilliant talent that we're bringing in as possible. And there's been many other improvement projects to around our recruitment process. Obviously building, there's going to be a big focus around training of hiring managers, around making sure that we're bringing in the most diverse people, diversity of thought, diversity of background, diversity of opinion, that will make our business even better than it is today, and obviously innovating along the way. So on top of that, I think the analytics and reporting that is shared with us via the team really helps us to monitor and remedy any trends we're seeing, and improve both the candidate and employee experience along the way. But at the beginning of the year, we do obviously agree areas of focus and SLAs, and marry these with things that the team are interested in too. So there's a development aspect there. But Franco, you're really hot on, aren't you, making sure that we've got those areas of focus nailed, because it helps you guys to do your jobs better. I don't know if you want to add anything there.
The SLAs and just working to the Instant Group's priorities, and goals is really key. And I think the SLAs that we work towards and we do discuss, they all align to the Instant Group's goals and recruitment challenges, rather than what we think should be in place because of how it's been done before, or how it's been done at a different business. I think that's one of the great things about Instant Impact, is that we are able to sort of tailor to each individual business, and work to their needs. So that clarity around the metrics, and just having a core set of metrics that actually attribute to the Instant Group success, rather than what people might perceive as the right thing to do, just help me keep on track, and then also help to motivate myself and the team.
Fantastic. I mean, feels like a great time to switch into some key pieces of advice on how to get the most out of an RPO, your own RPO, or some of the things that you feel like the Instant Group done particularly well with you. Love to hear some of those ideas, Franco.
Yeah, so I think I suppose just expanding on what I've just said, I think the first thing is just to be really clear about what you want from that partnership. So go in understanding what are your recruitment challenges, what are your recruitment goals. Be prepared for a long-term relationship with that recruitment partner, and it's not a quick fix. You are building a relationship and an eternal function, essentially. So understanding those key metrics, being clear about what is going to benefit the business. Things like time to hire, for example, can evolve over time into a slightly different metric. Whatever works and whatever is going to benefit the business at that time. So the other thing to consider is just value add metrics like quality of hire through hiring manager feedback, whether that's something that you want to sort of look at. And again, we've touched on employer branding as well. So I think if you set those metrics and then continuously review them, review them at regular intervals just to make sure that they still align with what you want to get from the business, that will set you up for success. Again, a big one I know we've touched on already, which is just treating Instant Group has treated us like part of the team, which has been hugely beneficial to our success with the business, myself and the rest of the team. So that's just spending time with hiring managers, being visible. I mean, I am in the office. I know some of the different partnerships have different setups and can work remotely, but still having that visibility in the business and being able to speak to stakeholders outside of hiring managers, so the senior leaders in the business, and really having a voice means that I can understand it and then work on outside of hiring some of the value add stuff like the improvement projects. So without fully understanding the business, I wouldn't be able to identify and then attribute to those improvements. And the third thing for me, yes, I think, would just be
sorry. Just before you go to the third, I think it's really interesting on the improvement projects, and it's something. Not that I want to dwell on any of the negative, but where I've seen RPO projects go wrong in industry is where companies think of them as just like an extension of, or like a different way of doing agency work. And I think one of the things that it sounds like has gone really well with the Instant and Instant partnership is there's that expectation, yes, to make really good high quality and diverse hires, but there's also that additional expectation of, all right, well, where's the extra value coming from? Where's the subject matter expertise? And it's not seen as like a nice to have. It's seen as part of what we're here to do, which is exactly right from our perspective. But it sounds like that's landed really, really nicely.
Yeah, it is. And again, the only way I could do that is by being part of the business and truly understanding it. So if I wasn't visible, if I wasn't so embedded, then it just wouldn't be able to identify those value adds, and it would just be I suppose a recruitment resource outside of that. So I thank you to Helen for helping us to embed into the business. And then I think that the third one for me is the openness to sort of technology, new technology, new processes. The Instant Group's been great at taking on board feedback around processes, or whether it's bringing on a new ATS or using a new piece of technology that's going to support us in finding quality hires for the business. Whilst these things can cost a little bit of money, it's ultimately in the long run going to save us money on things like further agency fees and stuff like that. So just that flexibility and openness to new technology and new processes is really beneficial. But I think all of those three things sort of tie in quite nicely to each other in terms of just being open, flexible, and keeping a good line of communication open between the two partnerships.
Fantastic. Helen, anything you'd like to add on that, or I tell you what, did we make any mistakes so far that you think would have been could have been avoidable in retrospect?
Honestly, no. I'd love to have something constructive to say, but I honestly don't think
Excellent. Well, there's a question coming in from Chris, who's asked, I guess for either of you guys, have you seen any key trends in the reporting and data that over the course of the first year?
Yeah, there's lots of things that we report on. I mean, we have our people metrics that we share anyway, and Franco and the team have been great in manipulating data that we're keen to see. Lots of the trends have all been positive ones that we've been able to share with the business, but it's been things around, well, where's the recruitment source coming from? You know, where's the best place for us to kind of find talent? And one of the places is won't be a surprise, but it's both our employee referral program and LinkedIn. And so we've been able to use that to promote both of those things within our business. So get our leaders and our people to get behind and support any kind of social media and LinkedIn activity, and kind of share roles with their networks. And equally, we've been able to do some more PR around the, you know, what we think is quite a generous referral scheme that we have internally, because we know that those two kind of talent sources are gonna, you know, most likely bring us success.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that's a good
Fantastic.
example.
Well, I'm going to be very careful that we don't go over time. I just wanted to spend one or couple of minutes at the end saying a massive thank you to both of you, to Helen and Franco. Super interesting to hear both of your perspectives on all of this. To answer a question we get every time we do a webinar that we didn't get it this time, we will be sending a recording around along with the slides, just in case there are any points you'd like to revisit. And if anyone has any further questions, please pop me an email on this email here, or if on this one here, and I think we'll make sure we circulate some LinkedIn profiles of both Franco and Helen. So if you've got any specific questions for them, you can reach out. But again, thanks everyone for taking half an hour out of very busy schedules. Thanks Helen, thanks Franco, and have a fantastic second half of the week. Excellent. And I don't know how to end this.
Yeah.